Criminal investigation to coerce the Federal Reserve is a dangerous crossing of the Rubicon, even for Donald Trump, who's crossed many Rubicons already, to his detriment and the country's detriment. America's economic stability depends on impartial, stable monetary policy. Our central bank must always operate free of coercion, free of intimidation, and free from short-term political calculation. But what Donald Trump is doing is the magnification of monetary policy, one of the last places we should have any kind of MAGA influence. Anyone with 2 eyes and half a brain can see what this probe is: a brazen attempt to cannibalize the Fed's independence. It's monetary mob boss thuggery. And if you're an American worried about costs, housing costs, car loan costs, any interest rate costs, what Donald Trump's doing should alarm you. If you're worried about bringing your mortgage rate down, if you have a variable rate mortgage, if you want to keep the mortgage down, if you're a new home buyer and want a lower mortgage, Donald Trump's assault on the Fed should alarm you. Because when there's chaos in the Fed, interest rates go up. The banks and financial institutions, when they say chaos, they grab on tightly and say, we better not lower anything. We better keep things high because we're not exactly sure what's going to happen. Because when there's chaos in the Fed, there's chaos across the economy and rates go up. That's what financial institutions do in the current times of uncertainty. They ratchet rates up to avoid a pitfall of some kind of downward decline that chaos often brings. It becomes more expensive for people to borrow. It makes it harder to own a home. It makes it harder to build more homes. It raises car payments, credit card payments, raises the price of almost anything. So if Donald Trump is serious about bringing costs down, about fighting inflation, about showing the American people he cares about them, the last thing he needs to be doing is launching criminal investigations against members of the Federal Reserve Board. Congress should not, cannot be silent in the face of such naked political attacks. Now, Republicans are whispering in the hallways to one another that they're troubled about what the DOJ is doing against the Federal Reserve. But actions speak louder than words. It's not enough for Republicans to whisper their worry. Senate Republicans should act like they're in the majority and use their oversight powers to bring the DOJ to heel. We must bring Department of Justice officials here to the Senate to testify in committee under oath and answer for their reckless conduct. We must hold the line against any Federal Reserve nominee from Donald Trump, so long as this dark cloud hangs over the Fed. If Senate Republicans are truly worried about the Fed's independence, if they're worried about what chaos at the Fed means for rising housing costs, rising borrowing costs, rising inflation, then they ought to conduct some oversight. Otherwise, their concerns are little more than hot air. Donald Trump's fake populism